This is Bisola Johnson when she left the ministry over 1 year ago. But where has Bisola Johnson been for the past 1 year? Today she is spreading lies to the world at large as if she left the Synagogue Church of All Nations only yesterday. All this is in a vain effort to coax people into accepting her deceitful stories.
This is a woman who tried using different means to spread a web of lies and deceit concerning the Synagogue Church of All Nations. This DVD is one of the mediums in which she narrates a fabricated tale of how she said she came to the Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Sometime 14 years ago, close to 14 years ago, I came to the Synagogue Church. At this time, my family just recovered from a fire outbreak in our home. And at that particular time, it's like we needed God and we needed help, actually. My father's friend introduced him to the synagogue church, mainly because of my father's malignant sickness. He came and invited some of his children, and many of them turned down the invitation. Unfortunately, I would say for me, I came with him.
You have heard the story that Bisola gave after she had turned her back on the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Now you are about to watch actual footage from the Synagogue Church of All Nations archives of how Bisola truly came to the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Let us go back to the time, many years ago, when in a hopeless state she revealed what had really brought her to the Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Please, I want to do everything to please God and to please you because of what God has done for me.
Tell us what brought you initially to this church and what God saved you from.
God saved me from spirit of death, because before, every time I always think of death. I always dream of death. Even when I was walking, anytime I'm in a position and I have a terrible dream, they always demote me or something always happens. I've tried 7 times to get married. It doesn't work out. I've even used money in buying people. It doesn't work out.
This is a stark contradiction of her former tale that she had merely come to the Synagogue Church of All Nations after her family were recovering from a fire outbreak, and as she stated, because of her father's malignant sickness. Whereas, in actual fact, driven by the spirit of death, she arrived at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, desperately seeking deliverance. What could possibly have led Bisola to invent such a tale? We believe this will be the question that will be going through your mind. Watch the following footage and find out.
What is the problem you have with your brain?
I always have a terrible headache, which is called migraine. And anytime it happens, I always misbehave. I don't care about what happens in my surroundings. I always behave irrationally. I don't care about what happens to me next.
Tell us what normally happens to you, the experiences you have when this migraine comes.
I always have terrible nightmares. So this nightmares always haunts me. I don't regard anybody. I just behave the way my spirit dictates to me. Anything my spirit says, I will just do it.
If you have ever experienced a migraine, you will know what effect it has on your ability to reason well. What you have just heard is enough to discredit any story Bisola may have spread, as she confessed that when that migraine headache comes upon her, she has no regard for herself, let alone her surroundings or anyone else. This is Bisola being prayed for. Here she is being prayed for a second time.
I always have a terrible headache, which is called migraine. And anytime it happens, I always misbehave. I don't care about what happens in my surroundings. I always behave irrationally. I don't care about what happens to me next. I don't regard anybody. I just behave the way my spirit dictates to me. Anything my spirit says, I will just do it.
In a subsequent confession, Bisola publicly discloses what this irrational behavior had once led her to do.
In fact, in fact of where she know, ejò máa gé mi jẹ lọ́wọ́ so owó tí bá ti ó máa tán so frustration ẹ̀ ló wá jẹ́ kí n wá lọ́kọ̀ kan wípé kí n tẹ̀ kó má ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ ní lọ́kọ̀ sọ ìgbà tí mo wá lọ́kọ̀ yẹn so for over 2 years láti wà àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í jà ó máa dàbẹ̀ ni pé àwọn èèyàn wà nílé pẹ̀lú so ń jọ́kọ̀ yẹn wá sọ fún òun òṣèré mọ́ so mo wá mú gamalé mo wá mú yẹn wá sáré rush mi lọ sí hospital so after about 2 weeks mo wá bu kerosene àti petrol sí gbogbo ilé property over 3 million naira mo wá sùn.
Gbogbo ilé yẹn.
Gbogbo ẹ̀ lójó náà ìtorí.
Àti gbogbo property tó wà lẹ̀.
Àti gbogbo àti tèmi àti ti ọkùnrin yẹn.
Ṣé ọkùnrin yẹn ló ní ilé yẹn ọkọ yẹn ló ní ilé yẹn?
Ààrẹ ìtẹ̀ 3 bedroom flat.
Ọ̀tẹ̀ tó gbogbo ilé yẹn.
Even roof gan jábọ́ sísàlẹ̀.